Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for being part of Joy Asonye Live today. Well, today we'll be focusing on something very interesting. Not long ago, the UN beamed its touch on green skills as we celebrated the International Youth Day, and a lot of people had been asking, what are green skills? How can Nigeria achieve these green jobs? Well, first of all, green jobs reduce environmental impact of enterprises and economic sectors by improving the efficiency of energy, raw materials, and water, decarbonizing the economy and bringing down emissions of greenhouse gases, minimizing or avoiding all forms of waste and pollution, and protecting and restoring our ecosystem. My guest today will be telling us how Nigeria can achieve green jobs, and especially because that's what he does. He's an environment advocate or activist, as sometimes I call him, and the CEO PIB Global Services. That's the company that has been doing so much in recycling and reusing several components that you and I might look away from. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, at this point, we just go for a short break and return to discuss more. Remember, we are talking about how Nigeria can achieve green skills. Stay with us. Welcome back from that. This is still Joy Asonye Live, where we are discussing how Nigeria can achieve green skills. That especially after that declining statistics from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics that told us we had just 4.1% unemployment rate. While a lot of people still contend that, how can we up the green economy? Well, Peter Bassey, again, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Now, let's first of all talk about PIB Global Services and why you decided to go that way. It's something usually you see retirees, and especially because in Nigeria, it doesn't seem like we have gotten to terms with the potentials in that industry.
Well, since you said most times it's the retirees, I call myself a retiree.
I mean, we don't see a lot of young people in that space.
Yeah. Now, you know, we have to look for solutions to the present problems that we are having. The climate change, we are talking about global warming and all this stuff. There should be somebody or group of persons taking the lead to do these things. And if we don't do it, we are not helping our incoming generations. So what excuse do we have? So that is why PIB Global Services was founded, to take the lead on providing climate change mitigations and adaptation strategies. And the most interesting aspect is that these things are simple.
Okay.
Yeah, I was speaking to some people the other time in Lafia. I was telling them some of the things we do at PIB. It's not that we are reinventing the wheel, or we are discovering anything, or we are developing anything. Some of these things are just taking the existing things and re-amplifying it, or maybe you can use the word rediscovering them, or trying to make them known. Look at the voucher, the activated charcoal.
Exactly.
So we are not producing charcoal, so to say. It was there already, but just that, okay, don't produce it this way. Produce it this way.
Don't fall trees.
Instead of falling trees,
Right.
You can produce charcoal from grasses, and people were like, okay, this is going to be in powder form. Then when you get the powder form, you compress it and you have the solid form. You use and cook. Simple. And I taught some people in Lafia, about 5 local governments came there, and they were like, wow, so within
It's just that simple.
2 minutes we did everything. And they were like, so, and if it's that some of these green skills are easier and accessible, affordable,
and resources seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, than the other skills that are polluting the environment. we are talking about biogas, for example. We know Nigeria is blessed with natural gas and stuff, but to extract this natural gas and compress them to make them useful for consumption, domestic use, and even also use, it goes to a lot of processes. But from your kitchen waste, the food you eat and throw away, your human waste, from your septic tanks, you can generate gas that you can use to cook, power your generator, or even power your car. So within your household, you can,
and the waste that you
yes,
produce,
the waste that you generate from your household can even power you, power your household, and if you are generous, your neighbor. You understand? And the other,
and can you go completely off grid with that?
yes, you can. Of course, you generate waste every minute.
Exactly.
You understand? Maybe a household of 5, you generate tons of waste. Maybe let me not exaggerate. Like in a day or 24 hours, a household of 5 can generate like 24 kg to 50 kg of waste. This can sustain you for that day and even the next day. You understand? And look at, we have sufficient sunshine. You extract this solar energy and store them and use. We also have, remember the other time we talked about rainwater harvesting. We have enough rainfall. Then why would you now go and buy fuel to on generator to pump water
when you could
harvest the rain that is coming freely? All you need to do is to purify. What does it take to purify? Even the water that you drink, you still purify them. So why don't you just have an effective way of harvesting your rainwater you use for your you use them for any other domestic use or even to consume? Okay,
we will get to whether they make money, because I'm sure a lot of people are asking. I mean, it's all good for the environment, the ecosystem, our greenhouse gases.
Yeah.
It's all good and all of that.
Yeah.
However, is this a viable
business.
enterprise? Is it a viable business? You just mentioned several things that I'm already wowed about. I mean, we used to see it internationally, but you are just telling us now that the waste we generate can actually generate energy for us in our homes.
Yeah.
This information, first of all, before we go to if they make money, which is very important, are Nigerians sensitized and aware of it enough? Because I remember the end of fuel subsidy regime threw everything off balance. So this, it's like a breath of fresh air. Yeah,
one thing about Nigerians, we Nigerians, let me not say Nigerians as if I'm not a Nigerian, and indeed Africans, once we are used to one style of life, to even try to adapt or change,
consider something.
No, don't want to. Now this one I know, I don't want. You understand? So we are trying our best to do the advocacy part of it, to campaign, create awareness, and we are also living by example. For instance, okay, on Saturday we commissioned the first free public urinal where people can go and eat themselves for free. This one is just designed for urine. You don't defecate in it. If you go to some place, don't urinate here.
Yeah,
fine, 10,000. You understand? How do you explain that to urinate here?
I saw a very funny one where they were even cursing you if you urinate
here. So we are doing reverse. About when we are begging you, please come and urinate here.
So what do you do with these people's urine? Because Nigerians can also be very skeptical.
Yes, so we convert the urine to organic fertilizer.
Organic fertilizers?
Yes, the same components in fertilizer that plant needs, the NPK, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, they are present in our urine.
The more concentrated the urine is, the better.
Yes.
I can just imagine.
So come and pee for free. We can even give you a bottle of water so that you can
just
pee more.
Pee.
Yeah. So you see, with that we
But who maintains it? Is it one that does not need so much maintenance?
That is where I'm driving at.
Right.
Because it is an organic fertilizer, remember we are also trying to change the mindset of our farmers. Nigerian farmers cannot export their farm produce because of the chemicals we use.
Exactly.
So the people out there, they don't want to buy chemical stuff. It's banned. You can't export. So we are convincing farmers in Nigeria to use organic fertilizer. Organic fertilizer is expensive. So we have to derive means to make it cheaper. So you give us urine for free, we'll produce the organic fertilizer and give you subsidy.
Okay, this is very interesting.
So we sell the urine and use part of the money. Of course, we are making it very affordable. We use part of the money to maintain the urinary, so that you not go there and complain, I cannot pee here, or cannot eat, because it's not hygienic. Yeah.
Right. But let's go back a bit. I feel like this is rolling too fast. Now, are people also when they go, I mean, it's a different thing to tell a Nigerian, we're going to harvest your urine, we're going to get this urine, we're going to make use of it. We're very suspicious people. So are we seeing people who are aware of this? Is the advocacy, what's the reception you're getting from people?
Fantastic. Let me start with the one that we commissioned on Saturday. It was sponsored by the Rotary Club. I'm a Rotarian.
I'm a Rotarian as well.
Yeah, so we are both Rotarians. You know what we do in Rotary Club?
Exactly.
Yeah, we provide services, community services. So when we commissioned, the first set of people that used that place were the Rotarians. So, and some of them came with their family. So I paid there, my children paid there. So I've created that awareness by myself that, okay, I can give my urine out for this process instead of polluting it. Then if I've done it, then my children will do that, my spouse will do that, and if I came with maybe other people from my family, my friends, you understand? So
everybody, if I can bring my family to do it, you can do it.
Yeah, of course.
Too.
And where we position it is at Old Parade Ground, where we have these coppers, the NYSC people go to do their biometric and stuff. And we had complaints that they have been looking for place to go and pee, especially the female coppers, no place. They have to go behind some containers to go and eat themselves. Now we have another set of people, like the coppers. So, okay, we know this is an enlightened. So if you tell them we are using this for organic fertilizer, they will not, though there might be some suspicion, but at least we are dealing with certain class of people that will not have really,
a little more enlightened.
Now we have a Reverend Father, his name is Reverend Father Edwin in Onitsha. He has his farm that is, everything is cultivating there, is using urine. A Reverend Father, Reverend Father controls a parish that has maybe 2,000 or 3,000 worshippers. So if a Reverend Father that's in charge of 2,000 to 3,000 worshippers or parishioners would have a farm that is using urine. Now those his parishioners will also, when they go to eat themselves in maybe the church urinary, and they know that they are using the urine to plant, do not have that suspicion, because of course they have trust and faith in the church.
Right. So faith-based organizations
can come in. Right. So schools, then we can maybe in the military camps, IDP camps. So you start with those group of people to give them that orientation. And you know what we are also doing? We are even showing, on Saturday that we commissioned, we planted trees using that organic fertilizer.
Is it right away?
Right away.
The urine.
Of course, right away. We are not just using only urine. It goes into the activated carbon, the charcoal boucher. So it goes into the boucher. Boucher will not absorb the urine. We monitor it. We don't allow it to have an overflow. So it has to be, if you are putting 50 liters of boucher, you need to accept 50 liters of urine. Right. So it becomes balanced. With that, you will not even perceive any odor, and there will be no side effects, because boucher has the power.
I was just about to ask, urine can be very pungent.
Yeah, but boucher has the capacity
to absorb it. I remember you said something about putting boucher in your poultry and your neighbor won't even know your...
Yes, so that is the same technology. If it can work with the poultry, or it can work with urine, you understand? So the first time I tried it was using it with the rabbit urine. Rabbit urine is also very good. Rabbit urine is very good. So, but why we are focusing on human urine this time is to remove Nigeria from the list of open defecation. Nigeria, we are
I was just about to ask, because I know government has been going on and on about stopping open defecation, and yet there are no public toilets and public facilities that would give people that confidence. And even when
let me take it from even when there are public toilets, they charge for it.
They charge for it.
Yes, let's say an average amount you pay is like 100 naira. Okay, maybe throughout today they not make any money. Where do you expect me to go and pay 100 naira to use myself? Let's say I'm having running stone, but I have to use the toilet 10 or 5 to 10
times. I have come to somebody's rescue before, because the person could did not have change. I think you just could not have change for that, and the person is like, well, you don't have change, so please leave. And it was quite unfortunate. But you have so much on your hands. I mean, what's the collaboration with government? This is such an interesting thing. I can just imagine having such facilities around the FCT, for instance. I can just imagine how much it will be patronized. However, you need government patronage. Is the government meeting you halfway in achieving this?
Yeah, we are trying to do that collaboration because, you know, government, we have to pass through a lot of bureaucracies. We have to submit proposals, follow up and all that. And we have challenges there and here and there. But I'm happy that when we did the commissioning, we had a representative from the Abuja Environmental Protection Board that came to see the facility live. And we also have other stakeholders, like Dr. Nicholas came from the organized private sector in water, hygiene and sanitation. And we also have the executive director of Erowasa FCT, who is also a Rotarian that love the concept and want to promote it too. And even UNICEF is also interested. The chief water and sanitation of UNICEF, she's very much interested about the concept. So we are hoping to have government support us. We don't really need much from government.
You just need the space.
We need space, and also to help us hype, because if government can hype it, like we are also working with the Clean Nigeria Youth Toilet Campaign Secretariat under the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, so they will also help us to spread it. So if when government come in, government will give us the space, approve the space for us, and help us to hype, talk about it. People will also build trust that and they are not using our urine to go and do this and that.
Exactly.
And since we are also showing them real time
physical example,
what we are using the urine to do. Rotary Club of Gwagwalada started planting 1,000 trees. They are using this urine fertilizer. We call it biochar urine organic fertilizer because it's the combination of the biochar and urine. So now imagine going to buy fertilizer to grow trees. It will be expensive, but you now use waste to grow the
how
trees.
Expensive is it when you eventually do this, your organic fertilizer?
Well,
comparatively, I mean, with the chemical,
it's like you can cut cost by 50%.
Oh, 50%, that's a lot.
Yes, cut cost by 50%.
Efficiency?
It's very, like I said, the same component we have in the chemical fertilizer, what you have, you can even have more in the organic fertilizer. And another thing is that the organic fertilizer, because of the biochar, it also regenerates the soil. You know, the chemical fertilizer has depleted the soil,
and kills the nutrients
the chemical fertilizer will kill the soil and kill all those microbes and all those stuff in the soil that are very important. But the organic fertilizer will even allow the components in the soil to thrive and to even perform better. So you are not just providing nutrients to your plants, you are regenerating the soil, which is very, very important.
Okay, before people listening to you start peeing on their plants just to get it to grow, what would you say is so important in the biochar? And then you will get to tell us what is in the biochar that ensures that it becomes a fertilizer and it grows and blossoms.
Yeah, biochar has been there for over thousands of years. You know, it's a substance that is produced using biomasses, dry biomasses, for example, corn cobs, corn stalks, even forest waste, leaves, branches of trees. But it's produced with limited oxygen. With that process that is called pyrolysis process, or you can call it carbonization, you trap in carbon. So that's why it's a good initiative for carbon sequestration. So you are taking carbon from the atmosphere and storing in this substance, and when you apply it as organic fertilizer, you are now trapping carbon in the soil where it permanently belongs. So it stays in the soil. So this process removes carbon from the environment and put it in the soil, stored in the soil. So with that, you've been able to even reduce carbon emissions in the environment. So that carbon is also very good it gives the biochar some structures that enables the biochar has some spores. When you look at it from the microscope, it has some spores that it's like a sponge. So like a storage facility. So
right,
it
absorb.
It can absorb and store some of these things. And you can even if you can even trap in heavy metals and some of these unwanted components or elements in the environment. So you just capture them and it's not there.
Okay, so what do you do now? You just spread it on your land, or how do you mix it? Same way?
Yeah, like the same way you apply fertilizer. If you are planting on a new farm, you just till it and mix it. If planted already, you do a ring hole around your plant about 20 cm deep, and you pour the boucher that is charged. We call it charged boucher because once you've mixed it with this urine or any other thing, maybe animal waste and stuff, it becomes a charged boucher. So that boucher, just like you charge your phone, it has been empowered, it has been powered. So the nutrients and everything is stored in the boucher. We now call it charged boucher. So that's what we now use. That's what we call organic fertilizer. But boucher itself, without mixture of any other thing, its own job is to increase the water holding capacity of the soil. So even if you don't want to add
the
urine or any other, maybe poultry dungs, you just want to use only the boucher. Boucher will increase the water holding capacity of the soil, also the nutrient holding capacity of the soil. This is how it works. If you've been using, let's say, 20 liters of water for maybe
a certain size
of land, you will reduce that by half, because the little water you pour will be stored, absorbed by the boucher, and that will also save your soil from erosion. So even if there's rainfall, runoff, the basic nutrients will not be washed away because they are stored in the boucher. So boucher works as a sponge.
Wow, there's still so much to discuss. Boucher, environment, there's so much to discuss, but we're going for a short break right now. When we come back, we'll still be talking to Peter Bassey, the environment activist and CEO, PIB Global Services. He'll be telling us what's in it for him. I mean, I know we all love this planet, but is there something he's achieving from this? And above all, what's the collaboration with farmers? We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still Joy Asonye Live, where we've been discussing green skills in Nigeria, achieving green skills in Nigeria, and we've taken the conversation to PIB Global Services Limited and the many things they are doing for the environment. But having said all of this, there's the boucher mixed with urine for organic fertilizers. Peter Bassey, what is in it for you? Will they make money? Because, I mean, that's what everybody wants to know. If I have to partner with PIB Global Services, is there money in it for me to make?
Of course, there should be money, because you have to pay salary, you have to take care of yourself. Maybe say you go fence. They say, what is it like? You don't try. Say this guy.
He was doing it for the planet.
Save the planet, save yourself first.
Okay.
The planet needs you alive. You
right.
understand? So, in as much as we are supposed to make money, you know, it's a new thing in Nigeria, in Africa. In fact, it's a new thing in the world. So, even in advanced countries, it's still taking them time. But we are pushing it and we are making some money. We need to make more money, because we need to, the planet Earth is in crisis. So, we need to save the Earth, and we cannot save that. We save the Earth without money or funds. So, to answer the question directly, there are opportunities to make money. And for example, like we were talking about the urine, we sell the urine organic, the boucher urine organic fertilizer. Even though as we started, you know, we have to enter the market, we have to give free, but our aim is to sell it so that we can have money to maintain these free public urinals, the free public toilet. We have to sell the byproducts, so that we can take care of yourself. I can pay myself salary, pay my team, and also pay our stakeholders like you.
but I really need to ask. I mean, how do you ensure? How do you take this urine? I mean, let's say you have about 50 urinals rather around Abuja, the FCT.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? I can just imagine carrying urine all over the place. Is that what's
Yeah, you know, we are not carrying urine all over the place. We are carrying a mixture. Even where the urinal is, you cannot
just
even
mix
perceive.
it there, right?
You cannot even perceive. So do you know, like when we were coming here, I might have that in my bag, but you don't know. Maybe as I'm sitting with you, I have it there with me. You cannot perceive it. You understand?
Right.
So you can move it, go around with it. Nobody will perceive it unless you tell somebody this thing I'm carrying. Like what we are doing, we on the containers we boldly write voucher urine organic fertilizer. You understand? So
that would also
someone will like, are you like, is this urine? Like you mean human urine? Is because someone asked the other time, are you saying it's human urine? Yes, but I cannot perceive it. You are not supposed to perceive. If you perceive, that means it's an error. So if we have, that is the logistic issue. We have like 50, 1,000 around. Each facility is designed to collect, process, develop, so we can package from each facility and move to the point of application. Maybe maybe we have one in Asokoro and they want to plant trees, or there's a farm within Asokoro that needs it, or a customer within Asokoro that wants to use it for his or her private garden. You understand? So we just move from there. Maybe how many quantity? Okay, I need 100 liters, so we move 100 liters from the point in Asokoro to wherever within Asokoro to. So we don't even need to move things. So that's why, because our major aim is to reduce carbon emission, pollution in the environment. So if you are moving raw materials and the finished product from one point to the other point, you are contributing to.
But when the mixture is done, how long can it stay? I mean, I don't know if to call it the stable life, but how long can it stay? The shelf life, rather.
Shelf life, you know, is organic.
It's organic, exactly.
So it does not really have expiring date, and voucher can stay in the soil for over 500 years, up to 1,000 years. So
if I'm using a certain plot of land, but that wasn't my question, but I like the angle you just went. If I'm using a certain size of land for something and I apply voucher on that land and I plant, the next season, if I'm trying to plant, do I need to apply voucher?
You don't need to apply, but you can top up.
Right.
You can re-inject. I say, okay, let me just, so that I don't want to, you know.
Just to ensure that the other one is still working.
So yeah, because there's no how you get the same quantity of nutrient. The voucher will still be there, but just the nutrient that has been absorbed by the plant. So you can reintroduce it into the soil. And because there's no point, there's no how that you say you are putting more than
necessary, right? In the soil.
There's nothing like that.
Of course, it's organic.
It's organic. So we are supposed to be making money.
Lot of it.
But you know how the country is. So we are playing around, trying to develop different means because sustainability is very expensive.
It is.
To generate or to develop a sustainable project is expensive. You will spend more money than what you get, because you are creating awareness. People need to try it. You need to even give tons of this product for free for people to use.
Just to try it first. And you know how the trying is. It takes time as well.
Like, for example, look at, this lova plant that grows everywhere. We are changing the mindset of people. Instead of using plastic sponge, use the louvers. And the louvers they are even giving you perfect like you feel better using them.
Really? Don't they expel like fibers?
They are fibers,
right?
But they don't expel.
Oh, really?
Because they are mature ones. Unless you are using your teeth, unless your skin is
when you are not when you are not
but that is the beauty of it. Anything that you are using and that thing is lasting forever is killing the planet. So it should be something that maybe after 2-3 months you don't need it again, you throw it away, and even if you throw it inside the bush,
it will still absorb into
the soil. Then like there's when you were born, the sponge and the toothbrush that they used
at that time
it's
for probably still there.
They are still there. In the next 500 years, they're still there. So after we've gone, those things will still be there. So that's why we are bringing these louvers, the natural sponge, use it. It's also good for your dishes.
But where would one find it? I mean, you
Everywhere.
live
We have
in the
it.
FCT.
Yeah, we have it. Even in this Abuja, I personally, I have collected about 100 of them in Abuja.
And they have the trees around.
That is not a tree. It's this cover crop that grows on the stone. It's even wild. It's a weed.
Yeah.
So people cut it. In fact, once any construction sites that
very often you see the
so that is not even. So what we are also doing is that because we know by the time we promote it, more people will go for it. So we are also collecting the seeds and planting them.
Right. So can you use it on your skin? And have you tested if it has any side effects?
I've been using it for about 2 years now.
I mean, you're a village man. You have the immunity to take it.
Okay,
I'm just saying with my...
will start using it
with
today.
the tender...
We also have people who've bought from us, you know. I'm just knowing that you've not used it before. But from here, you will start using it. You don't even need to use it on yourself for the start. You can use it to wash your dishes.
Right.
From there, you even feel, you know how it feels in your hands to wash your dishes and all this stuff. Then from there you can start with your so to ensure that yeah, but I can tell you they're good. And you know, we are selling those stuff. We are selling the loafers.
Right.
So you can imagine how we are taking something that people take for granted or cut and throw away, and we are turning them into a product that can go into the market and generate income. That is why we call the green skill and how we can make money. Is that not what you asked me?
How you can make money,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But a lot of the young people we see these days often do not want to get their hands dirty. How do you get people who work with you to achieve some of these very noble things you're doing?
Now, there's nobody that will love to do anything that is not benefiting from. So now there should be means of people benefiting from whatever you want them to do.
Exactly.
Not necessarily money, but of course there has to be money. But above money, there should be that sense of acknowledgement. And for example, one of our projects is the Jabile cleanup,
where you harvested hyacinth.
Yes, so we got approval from Parks and Recreation in charge of Jabi Lake through the FCTA to clean up Jabi Lake. We are using our funds to do the cleanup. You understand? So we now make our money back from the sales of the products we make from out of the waste we generate from the Jabi Lake, the water hyacinth, the plastic bottles, the wine bottles. You understand? So we created a network of volunteers. These are people that want to come and learn and how to do this and even follow and do the work. So since it's voluntary, we are not supposed to pay them. But we created a network that, okay, when you come, maybe you spend, each hour you spend with us, we call it green hour. You spend an hour with us at Jabi Lake, you've earned a green hour. So maybe like after 3 months, we can give you a certificate. We call it green certificate, and we now list, okay, Mrs. Joy has spent 30 green hours at Jabi Lake to clean up Jabi Lake and recycle waste in Jabi Lake. So we can, you know, we honor certificate.
How come I haven't gotten a green certificate?
You've not spent up to an hour.
I have,
last
actually.
Time okay.
I did spend some time.
You did spend some time.
I'll come for my green certificate. I don't want to.
I don't green hours.
I didn't want to.
So with that green certificate,
I don't want to negotiate it.
With that green certificate, you can add to your CV. You can, and we can also give you recommendation letters. If you are going for a job, you can also recommend you to jobs and stuff like that. We have opportunities, and sometimes they invite us for events, seminars, workshop that is paid, and we say, okay, please, our volunteers go and represent us. So you go, they give a time that you were supposed to pay. So you go there and you go and learn. You understand? Then there are also other opportunities that volunteering with us you can achieve that is even more than money.
That's interesting.
To add with, we also give you a commission if you help us to sell one of the products. You get like
a commission
10% commission on it. And when we have opportunity to employ, we also absorb you into our team.
That's interesting. But where do you see this going, especially this voucher urine fertilizer? It's such a very noble thing to do. It seems to have too many benefits to it. Now, where do you see it going? Do you see, sorry about that, do you see more state governments embracing this, and if possible, farmers in the agriculture sector? Where are you heading to?
Okay, let me start with the farmers. When we started in Lagos State, we started giving out the mixture of the voucher with the poultry waste to farmers, and I've been using it in Abuja too. In last year, December, I was in Abakaliki, where we were having an event to train 100 farmers on this, how to convert their farm waste into voucher. We had provisions for 100 farmers, so we made funds available to cater for this 100 because you have to give them transport and all that, give them lunch and stuff. But we had over 300 farmers, and we had to triple our funds to be able to take care of these farmers. You understand? So that shows that people are really interested. Now we have collection of small. We are working mostly with smallholder farmers,
Right.
and most especially women and youth, to teach them, nurture them, train them how to convert their farm waste into voucher. One, we are stopping them from what we call open agricultural burning. So there's a campaign that we are running. We call it no burn. No burn. So as a farmer, you are not supposed to burn your farm waste. But if you tell them, stop burning your farm waste, stop burning your farm waste,
Without an alternative.
without an alternative, or what are they going to benefit? They will not listen to you. But if you tell them, do you know that if you don't burn this farm waste, this maize cobs, this corn cobs, these corn stalks, if you don't burn them, you can turn them into something that you can make money. They will listen to you.
Right.
And you are not just saying it, you are showing them. They are doing it and they are seeing it. So farmers, some of the farmers within our network are now turning their farm waste into a product that they will use. So instead of going to buy fertilizer or chemical fertilizer or even organic fertilizer, you are using your farm waste to produce this organic fertilizer, and you are using it back into your farm. So you save money and you are also saving the planet.
Yes, but this looks like a lot of work. It looks like so much advocacy has to go into it to have all the farmers, be it even just in a state. It seems like a lot of work. Do you have that manpower?
Well, you can see how lean I am.
I don't see how lean you are.
You know, what we are trying to do to make it easier for us to put these farmers in clusters. So cluster of 100 farmers, 200 farmers, then we can schedule trainings for them so that you don't have to go to each of these farmers.
Right.
Now we train the trainers. Like recently, we were in a program that was sponsored by Oxfam, that we train participants from 5 local government areas in Nasarawa State. So there's no how you bring all the people from all these 5 local governments. So they had like maybe 10, 20 from each local government. So these ones will be trained, empowered, and they will go back and train other people. So we train the trainers and we keep updating them with information. Thank God we have we are in a digital world now that most people are using WhatsApp. So we now create WhatsApp group that we can give them updates. This is the new innovation in ground. You understand? So use this, use that.
Wow, that's quite interesting. However, I'm just imagining, how do you collate all this? Say everybody now decides I will not burn these corn cobs, for instance. How do you collate it to do the voucher? Do you move around all over the place?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's no point moving raw materials. You are even contributing to climate change.
No, I'm talking about yourself now.
Now, that's what I'm saying. We train these farmers to use their own waste. We train them to convert their farm waste into voucher. Then, if we have, like, we train people in Akwanga, Nasarawa State. Let's say we have an order from that axis. We now call farmer ABY
and say,
do you have your voucher with you? They say, yeah, do you have up to 5 tons? Okay. We now tell, okay, go and supply this person. So the person will now pay money. We take our own share and pay the farmer. So if we want to do all the production by ourselves,
it will be exhausting.
Yeah, and
overwhelming.
Overwhelming, and we will even pollute the environment because
by moving around.
Yeah, moving around, taking the raw materials from maybe Akwanga to Abuja, where we have our site, producing it, and maybe we have a customer that needs it back in Akwanga. We now go back. You understand? So we want to have, our focus and vision is to have multiple production hubs around the country that can serve needs within. It should not be more than, in fact, normally, ideally, it should not be more than 2 kilometers. So in every kilometer, we should have a production hub, and it's very possible.
For young people who are listening to you right now, or farmers who see this as an opportunity and say they want to be part of this, first of all, how do they get in touch with PIB Services Global? Okay,
we have our branches in Abuja, we have in Uyo, we have in Lagos State, and if you want to get in touch with me directly, I'd love to chat on WhatsApp. So you can.
I can understand. I mean, CEO.
So CEO I don't mind receiving multiple chats and I will reply them. But when it calls, maybe like if I'm here now, people will be calling. I will miss that call. But if you send me a message once I'm out, I can reply your message.
Some of these farmers are they tech savvy enough to be sending you WhatsApp messages?
That is one of the things that we are also trying to introduce, because there are some apps that they need to use. So we will be providing some hardware and trainings on that, the IT aspect of it, because we are also working on carbon credits that these farmers can get extra money. Apart from selling this voucher or selling this stuff to other people and making money, you can make money from what we call carbon credits. Carbon credits is a credit paid for projects that removes carbon from the environment.
Okay.
So voucher has been one of the best products that is viable for carbon credits. So in fact, PIB, we've earned some carbon credit, we've earned some money from carbon credit. So
how much have you earned?
And this money they pay in hard currency, and now that the naira is
Benjamin.
Yeah. So
how much have you earned?
We'll talk that. Now we want to make more of the carbon credits. So if we have, let's say, 1,000 or 3,000 farmers producing voucher, and this voucher end up in the soil, we need to be able to verify. So we cannot go to each of these farms and check. So it's technology that we use. So there's an app that you can use. For example, let me even say we are using WhatsApp. You do a live video and capture your production. And okay, I generated 50 tons of waste. I've turned my 50 tons. You measure it, we see it. I've turned my 50 tons of waste to, let's say, 20 tons of voucher. Now this my 20 tons.
I don't get it. Is it the app has a video where you actually see it, or picture?
Yes, of course. So it will show. You need to show the quantity of waste you generated, the byproduct, the voucher you've produced from this so quantity of waste. So then when this voucher has been used in the soil, we need to know exactly the location, the longitude and the latitude of that location. Right. So we can track it through satellite and say, okay, this is the point. Now with this documentation, we can verify that farmer ABY generated 50 tons of waste, produced 20 tons of voucher, and has used the 20 tons of voucher as organic soil enhancer in so location. So with that, if a ton of voucher will give, let's say, $10, and we now have 1 ton, that is 1,000 kg of it. If let's say 1 kg is $1, and we now have 1,000 kg, that is $1,000. So we now say, okay, we've generated $1,000 from this particular farmer, and we now say, okay, this farmer will take this amount, we'll take this amount, and we can say, okay, this other amount goes to the community, and maybe for more research and development. So we share the profit within ourselves, the farmer and other stakeholders. So that means we have to provide technology, and where there is no network, we have to provide them with basic how to get network and whatever to be able to
just to ensure that they can achieve that as well.
Yes.
It's quite interesting, but well, it's okay to talk about what the international community is doing just so that we save our planet. What is the Nigerian government doing? Have you seen like strides that gives you that key performance indicators that we are moving in the right direction? Are you seeing that body language is the word the phrase I'm trying to remember, the body language that will give us the confidence that this government is moving in the right direction?
Yeah, you know, one thing about government is everything revolves around the policy. Though we have these policies, but the implementation
of
and
it,
you know, following up and all the stuff. So I know the government, they are doing well. They want to do more to achieve, because the climate change, the global thing, everybody's talking about it. Our leaders, they go out to all these
several summits and programs.
But it's also a duty of the private sectors to keep pushing, and our the National Assembly to, you know, also encourage the passing of these bills. For example, I know we have a couple of bills, but the implementation, the follow-up is the problem. And there was a time I was saying, okay, what if government give some of these companies like PIB Global tax-free? You understand? Since you are helping us to plant trees or turn urine to organic fertilizer, I don't pay tax. I will be happy now. So we can use that money we're supposed to pay tax to do one or two things, you know. So there are different ways that government can support. Like I've mentioned, the tax. Government can also help to promote what people are doing. You know, I know there are also some incentive coming up, but they need to do more. Government needs to allow the commercial banks should, you know, be able to give facilities to these companies. There should be green decks in most of these, and some of these green funds are coming. To access them are always hard, bottlenecks and stuff. I've had some experiences. There was a particular government agency that I went to. I submitted a proposal. I was called for it in Abuja here. I flew in from Lagos, and when I went, I was like kind of being embarrassed, because they were asking me if we are expecting the CEO of PIB. I said, I'm the one. They said, no. In fact, one of them, let me say it, one of them said that he does not believe, because then my company was 2 years old. Now we are 3. That a 2 years old company can
achieve
this.
all you had.
And that I looked you, I said, yes, I told them my age, that a youth of this particular age range cannot achieve this. He said it. In fact, one of my staff,
globally.
Yeah, one of my staff was so
upset.
You understand? But just don't worry, we see all these things, and I was happy that he said those things, because of course.
Were you still able to assess the grant, or that was the yardstick for you?
It was it was just to writing to partner with them. And
okay.
So I learned the head of that department or whatever is no more. So we'll try again. Right. And hopefully now at least I've added a year. And that's why sometimes I keep this beard so that I look older. You don't look so old.
It's unfortunate.
So it's unfortunate. They say we are leaders of tomorrow, and
when
they are shocked when they see leaders of tomorrow trying to do something. Because perhaps maybe is it envy, they could not do it when they were young and all that. So they believe that you have to be old to be able to.
I told you, because when it comes to that space of environmental advocacy, you see the older people, it seems like, oh, they've seen generations of how it used to be and how it is now, and then they can now relate. But I'm happy that younger people are taking up this, and I must commend you for the things you're doing to sustain our planet. I must thank you, and I'm happy to announce that I am a partner with the PIB Global. I just haven't made money out of it.
My CEO
is just making all this money. But like I said, you didn't get to give us how we can reach out to you quickly. How can farmers or anybody that's interested, how can they reach out to you?
Okay, my phone number that you can also reach out to me via WhatsApp is 0810 875 9404. 0810 875 9404. You can also check us on Facebook at PIB Global. We are on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn, and
all social media. You can also check them up on Google. If you didn't get that number. It is 08108759404. It's better when I say it. Thank you so much, Peter Bassey, environment activist, PIB Global Services Limited. Thank you again for being part of the program.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's always wonderful to have you, but this is where we close today's episode of Joy Asonye Live. Rest assured, we'll be back tomorrow with so much more, so do have a wonderful evening.